said me as the president, so thank you. And my position as the president, League of Akwa Ibom Professionals, also has elapsed. So we are working on re-election. So someone else is taking over. I elected not to run again because I want to do other things. All right, I listened very attentively to Dr. Dare, yes, who spoke. And I don't know about you, but I didn't hear any of you say it. For me, what I took from what he said was the social intelligence part. I think that you can have every other thing. If you don't have that social intelligence, you will still not be a successful person in business. Do you think that Dangote is where he is because of his financial intelligence? No. It is that his social intelligence that has kept him in business from when he started till now. When he said that immediately Buhari was made president, Dangote was there, that's still part of it. Okay, so where are my slides? Okay. All right, so I'm going to just take you on bookkeeping and financial management. And I have 1 hour, and I'm looking at the clock because I have to also leave at a certain point. All right, so let's go to the next slide. So before we start, I just want to know exactly where you are. So we're going to do a test. And this one you mark for yourself. So you can see the question. Bookkeeping, okay, I'm sorry I'm calling it bookkeeping. I am an old accountant. It's now called record keeping. When we started training to become accountants, they used to call it bookkeeping. But now it is record keeping. Why it used to be bookkeeping is because it was done only in a book. You had to do it manually. Now, because we are using softwares, computers, and all of that, it's now record keeping. All right? So I want us to do this test. There are 3 questions. So this is the first question. Who can read the first question for us? Can we all see? All right, I need someone to read out the first question. Who? Right.
The first question is business detail tracking. That's A. Okay, number 1, which of the following are reasons for keeping good records? Select all that apply.
All right, thank you very much. So, does business detail tracking apply? How many people say yes? Let me see your hand up. If you say yes, be bold, confident in yourself. Do you agree? This yes is very... Yes, very bold yes. Okay. Do you think it is for planning? This is trying to wake up. Yes. Do you think it's for legal compliance? Okay, that yes sounds better. Do you think it's for tax preparation? Okay, so they all apply. All right, so I'm in the right place. Number 2. Who's reading number 2 question for us?
When creating a record-keeping system, is it a good idea to?
Okay, so number 1, wait until you have enough information. Wait until enough information is available to get started. Is that, what do you think? No. Start simple and refine later. Okay, that yes sounded loud. Get a sophisticated system to anticipate future needs. Start after 1 year of operations. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's go to the next one. Number 3, who read number 3 for us? All right, the gentleman over here.
Which of the following business record keeping a good practice? I take it again. Which type of small business record keeping a good practice? Okay. For which type of small business is record keeping a good practice?
All right, fantastic. Do we get the question? Okay, so for which type of small business is record keeping a good practice? Sole proprietorship? I didn't hear the answer. Partnership? Corporation? None of the above? None of the above? All of the above? Okay, so we can go home. I'm done. Since you all know the answers, then there's no need for having me. James, you shouldn't have called me. I mean, these people already know what I'm coming here to do. All right, so this means that you at least have an idea of what I'm going to say. So thank you for taking time to learn, and that means my job here is going to be very simple. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so basically record keeping refers to the orderly and disciplined practice. Did you hear those two words? Orderly and disciplined practice. It's not you write today, you go to the market, buy things. You go to Use Market, buy beans to come and make moi to sell. And today you record it. Tomorrow you don't record. You buy tomorrow. So that once you sell, whatever you have, you think, sometimes some of you do not know your cost of production because you do not keep orderly and disciplined practice. You do not adhere to the orderly and disciplined practice of record keeping. You will never get the right price for your business if you don't do that. Okay? And record keeping the success of your business depends largely on creating and maintaining an effective record. You know this one that we talk about, Dangote, so much. Do you know why we know that he's the richest man in Africa? Hello? Do you know why we know? Records. His balance sheet tells us that his assets are this, and his liabilities are this, his equity is this. And so when you net off, this is where he is. And that's why we can say he's the richest man in Africa. And we have at Otedola, we have at Denuga, we have Folarunsho, Alakija, and we have all of them. And why is your name not one of those ones we talk about? The first speaker, Dr. Dare, he challenged you. He said he was in an Airbus that took over 1,000 people. He's a human being that thought up that idea. So which is going to be the one you think about? What fantastic thing are you going to come up with? The one brain we have, and most of them say they don't even go to church. We they pray pass. In fact, that's why I'm a Christian, but there's some prayers I don't pray anymore because I've come to my senses. Yes, God created me, gave me all the facilities and faculties. So why am I praying for the things He's already given me abilities to do? For him to do. Doesn't make sense. In fact, one day I was in church and they brought this pastor from somewhere to come and preach. And he said to us, those of you who are not, things are not the way you want, if you know that it is those people from your village that are doing you, come outside and pray and they'll pray for you. Plenty of people went out on my row like this. I was sitting at the beginning of the row. People were coming out from the row and going. On my row, I was the only person who didn't go out. Because me, I know what is doing me. If I have not achieved what I want to achieve, I know what is doing me. Nobody in the village. I don't even have the people. Oh, my uncles. I mean, I'm in good terms with my uncles, so which one of them would do me? I'm in good terms with my parents. So nobody in the village is doing me. And even the people I'm not in good terms with, they have no rights and ability to do me. As long as I call myself a child of God. So why are you allowing people to frighten you? You will not sleep in the night because you had one dream. Meanwhile, you walked and you're tired. It's the tiredness that caused you to have that funny dream. And you come out and be calling someone in the village. No, anything that is doing you is your fault. Me, that if I've not achieved, it's because I sleep too much. Me, I can sleep for the whole of Africa. If you allow me, if I go home now, small, I don't sleep. I sleep a lot, okay? So if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, it's because I sleep a lot. I'm maybe a little lazy, but that's fine. I know it's my fault. And the day I decide to wake up, it won't be anybody's fault or responsibility. Okay? So why is record keeping important? Now we've talked about all of these things. We've answered the questions and we've got the introduction. Why is record keeping important? We've said it already, but I just want us to reiterate. I want answers. Answers, planning purposes, yes, what else? I can't hear. Okay, you're not repeating what I said to you. Okay, can you put it in your own words? Okay, that's putting it in your own words. Thank you very much. Yes, madam. For what? Accountability. Thank you very much. Is there any other one? One last one. Preparing your tax returns. Fantastic. How many of you already have businesses here? Let me see your hand up if you already have business. Okay. I also hope that if you already have business, that you're already making provisions for your tax. Because it's important that you pay your tax, even especially as a child of God. You're supposed to be an example. You have to go and register with the tax authority. Now you may think, okay, I'm too small, I'm starting, so nobody will notice me. But they are quietly watching you. When you become big, that's when they come back to you. And when they come at you, they will slam you with whatever. Because the tax authority is allowed and given permission to do something called best of judgment. They can look at you. Like the doctor who said, your phone is 360,000 and your salary is 40,000. They will perceive you and decide, based on the phone you are carrying, you did not make a loss last year, you made a profit, and so this is your tax, and you will have to pay. You might do appeal, it will take time and all of that, okay? So it's important that you register for taxes, okay? So that's why we need to do the tax. That's why we need to keep records of our businesses. It's important. We want to be formal. We don't want to just be small businesses. Small businesses don't help the economy. If you start small, that's fine. I support you starting small. But remaining small is unacceptable. Nigeria needs big and growing businesses. That's why I decided that I want to plug myself into that space. When people are starting, start small, but don't stay small. If you start small, you're the only employee, you have only one sales girl. After 5 years, you are still small and your turnover is still less than 500,000 a year. You're a waste of space. Yes. So you have to rethink your strategy. Okay? Next slide, please. All right. So what are the requirements? Keep all receipts of your business transactions. I know that some people buy stuff. They go to supermarket, buy something that relates to their business, and they just squeeze the receipt and put in the trash on the way out. All of those receipts, when you're making up your tax, when you're trying to define your tax position, they will require them because there's some things that require receipts. There's some, like if you go to the market and buy 6 mudu of beans, of course the woman won't give you receipt. But at least there's a general price for beans, so we all know. So you can use that to record. Okay, so it's important that every transaction that relates to your business, that you keep the records. And for some of you, you're already using your personal money to do business. Some of you are using your employer's time and money to do business. And you think you're making profit because you have not kept proper records. It's the time they sack you because they've caught you using their materials to do their business. That's when you find out that, I should have taken this more seriously. I should have demarcated. I should have put a price on it. Okay? So it's important that you track everything. For a start, it might seem like too much work, but once you start, you get used to it. That's the thing about human beings. We get used to doing things. Okay? And you can get a system. It can be manual or physical. You can use a software. When you're starting out, writing all the transactions you've made in a notebook is fine. It's fine. Writing it in a notebook. But you can also use very basic software like Excel. In fact, this morning I had one of my clients I was talking to, and she was telling me that she's thinking that she should use a more sophisticated software. And I said, why? And she had no reason. So I said to her, Excel still works for you. For your line of business, you don't need anything more sophisticated. When I was running the microfinance bank, we had to use specific softwares because of the line of business, because it's a specialized business. Microfinance banking is a specialized branch of business. So we had to use, outside that, Excel would have been enough. Okay? All right, so, and then claim all business expenses. Like I said, some of you are using your home now, especially now to do business, and you are not charging that to your business. You're using your light at home. you're using the generator in the house, you're using the service charge, you're using everything in the house. But when you now are writing up your books for the business, you don't include the expenses that you've taken from home in your business. You're overstating your profits and exposing yourself to more tax than you should. Whereas, if you did what is the proper thing, which is charge every part of your home expense that is wholly and exclusively on your business to the business, that way you reduce your final profit so that you don't pay too much, you don't pay more tax than you should. There's something called tax evasion and tax avoidance. Don't evade tax, but you should avoid unnecessarily paying higher taxes. One of my clients had said to me, why should I pay tax? After all, they're using my tax money, they're embezzling my tax money. I said, sadly, the Constitution doesn't give you that privilege not to pay because of what they're doing with it. What you should do is do what is right. You can ask them questions. And you can only ask questions when you have done what is right. And you can also make statements at certain places because you have paid your taxes. I remember one time there was an event at the Hilton, and the vice president was supposed to be there. And I got in there on time, and the first row I saw reserved, and so the second row there was no reserved, and so I sat down. And I noticed that some people came in shortly before the vice president came. They were just hovering around and all of that. Maybe, and I think in their mind they wanted me to stand up, but they couldn't come and tell me to stand up. So one lady came out behind me, was like, it looks like, I said, I am sitting here. There was no reserved on this seat. I am a Nigerian, a tax-paying Nigerian, and so I am not leaving this seat for any reason. I could say that because I'm a taxpayer, and I'll ask them, on what basis will I leave? It's an event of the federal government of Nigeria. I am a Nigerian citizen. Tell me why I should leave the seat. Okay, for me personally, whenever I go to any place, I go to the front seat unless it's reserved. I don't know why. Because I don't... Okay, let's not go to why, but I just don't see why I should be at the back when the thing is happening in front. Because you know how when you're growing up, they say that when the angel comes and wants to give gifts, we'll start in front. And me, I don't know the day the angel will come. So the day I would make the mistake and go and sit at the back, angel will now come and start in front to share. And when he gets to almost the back, he has finished. And angel will say, hey, go next time. And then maybe angel go to come next time, God send him to another state. No, I don't want to hear story. I want my own that day. So that's why I like to sit in front whenever I go into any event. Okay? Okay, so of course we've talked about planning for your tax. And then keep records of your transactions because it will help you monitor your financial performance as a business. If you don't measure, then how can you track? How can you know how you have done? You have to measure so that you know. You have to keep records before you know that you have to measure. All right? All right, so these are the records you need to keep. Some, not all, because depending on your business, there's some other things you'll have to add and there's some you will not have. For instance, everybody must have records of their income and the sales. Income can be much more than sales. Sometimes you get a gift, that's an income to you. Sometimes you get money from whatever source, that's an income to you. And sales is what you have sold, your line of business, your core operations. Okay? And then your expenses, you have to keep records of that, and the purchases you have made. Because you have to relate your purchases to your sales to know whether you are making profit or not. Okay? You have to keep record of debtors. Who are the people owing you? You also have to keep record of your creditors. The people you're owing. When I was telling a group about this, a person said, that creditor said, I fit no keep them. After all, if the person don't keep, that's his own business. You know, but it's not right. As a child of God, keep records of your creditors because you want to pay them back. Okay? And then your stock position, where are you? Some of you run out of stock and then you go to the market. And when someone sees that you're desperate, they can hike the price for you. Okay? And you also have to keep your bank records. And at this point, maybe I should also say, for your bank records, you need to have your bank statement, your bank for your person as an individual separate from your business. I've had issues with mostly ladies who don't keep separate accounts. For their business is the same thing as themselves. That is absolutely wrong, because some banks and places, when you need to take a loan or grant, they will require your bank statement. And when the level of transaction there might discourage them. Because sadly, some of you are in experimental businesses. You're just there to experiment. You're there because other people say that they're doing business, so you just go. So when you go to look for grants or loans, you're actually looking for someone to sponsor your experiment. And no bank or serious grant agency would give you anything. Okay? So you need to be very sure. And that's why most banks will tell you, go and do business for a while and come back. Or they only will fund your working capital because they don't want you to use their money to go and make a mistake. I remember in the microfinance bank, someone came up to me. She was my friend, but she's no longer my friend because of the incident. That I should give her money that she wants to do business. So I said, okay, no problem. What's the business? And she said that when I give her the loan, are you listening to me? When I give, and you tell me whether I was right or wrong. When I'll give her the loan, she will carry the loan and go, part of the loan, she'll carry the money and go and train on how to sell one kind of oil. And then from that money again, she will now go and start the business. That's how I told her, sister, you know, go walk. And that's how she quarreled with me, or she never talked to me again till today. Okay, so was I wrong? That means that my money would have been lost. Because if she goes there and the man is training her, and one day the man says, don't sit on that red chair, sit on the black one. She can vex and go. After all, it's not her money she used to learn. Do you understand? Anything can make her vex and leave the business. And then me, I'll be the one left carrying the short end of the stick. So I said no. All right. So that's why, please go back to the last slide. That's why it's important to keep all of these records, and that's why it's important to make your mistakes with your own money. You can get your sisters, parents, or anybody to support you with funding, use their money to make mistakes. But when you want to take loan, when you're serious, then it cannot be with other people's money. Because even just the psychological load of taking a loan and not being able to pay. I know we've lost some customers who were owing us because they just couldn't pay because of some things. Some of the things were not even were beyond them, but somehow they just couldn't. And I mean, I remember we lost 2 customers in the process of taking loan and not being able to pay. Okay? So it's very important that your business is exactly what you know about, what you can defend. If I wake you up at night, you can tell me everything about your business, how you're going to make money. Look, nobody's interested in your fine face. If it was fine face alone, will Otadalo be a billionaire? No, if you have something viable and sustainable, then we are talking. Because when a bank gives you money, they want to be able to take back their money plus interest, and then they want to be able to have you continue to do business because they also want to make profit. Okay? So that's that about bookkeeping or record keeping. It's important that you ensure that you keep all of those records. And you don't have to be the bookkeeper yourself, but you can learn. It's not difficult to keep those records. It's also important that you can hire a bookkeeper. And then amongst yourselves, you're a church, so that means you know each other. 4 or 5 of you can come together and decide, okay, so this bookkeeping thing is going to take me away from doing my business. So instead of us to waste time and do it, let 5 of us come together and hire one bookkeeper. If you hire one bookkeeper, so he comes to my, what's the name? Bright. He comes to Bright's business today, do the bookkeeping, goes to Gozier's own, and then before you know it, does for 5 people, one, and then you pay very little. It saves you time, because time is limited. It saves you time from sitting down to struggle it out yourself, and then you use the time to do strategic things that move your business from just being a tiny business in one part of Guarimpa to a business that the whole of Abuja is talking about. Okay? So it's important that you keep those records. Next slide. So we'll just briefly also talk about financial management. I'm sure financial, you know what financial means, and management, you know what that means. So normally a company would provide goods or services and make a sale, collect money, and then start the process again. That's just what business is. Financial management is how do you efficiently allow cash to move through that cycle of producing, selling, and producing again. That's basically what it means. In a business, that's what financial management means. Producing, selling, and producing again. Okay? So how do you do that? You ensure that you buy everything at the lowest cost. When I was growing up, my mom used to say to me, in fact, some days my mom won't want me to go to the market because she says that when I go to market and they call me auntie, I will just give them the money, I won't price. Please don't be like that. Price very well. At the point, my younger sister, in fact, maybe that's why she has a shop now. She sells clothes and stuff. My younger sister is excellent at that. I remember one day till today, this is over 30 years, and it has refused to leave me. Because one day, my younger sister, I went to buy something. I think it was a bracelet. You know these bracelets, GL, not gold, or not that time we were growing up. And I bought it for 20 naira. And my younger sister comes and buys the same thing from the same man for 15 naira. And I go back to the man, and I said to him, why will you sell to her at 15 naira and me at 20? He said, hey, she's Sabi now, you know Sabi. Till today, I'm still vexed. So because of that, I tried to squeeze out every value from every 1 naira. It's important. Okay? So it's the same thing you should do for your business, especially now that people are squeezing their money, holding on to it. So you must deliver value for people to be able to be comfortable enough to release their monies to you. Okay? And there are other documents, but 3 very important documents that you need to have for your financial management, and that's what will tell you exactly where you are. Your profit and loss account, your balance sheet, and statement of cash flows. Who knows what a profit and loss account is? If you have a business, you should have prepared one at some point in the business. Who knows what that is? Yes, sir. Do you want to tell us what it is? Yes. You don't have to stand. You can just tell us.
Cost of your production, stating your cost of production, less marginal cost and selling costs.
All right, thank you. How about a balance sheet? Yes, madam.
And your liabilities, if I'm right.
Please go ahead.
Okay, where you have your fixed assets, current assets, liabilities, current liabilities, and
Well, I want to just hold on for her. She'll be right back. And while she comes, while we wait for her, in my classes, there is a topic I don't talk about, and that is financial management, record keeping. I don't talk about it because it's not my strength. So she'll be right back. But before she comes back, I'd like to leave a note for you. Let us decide to major in major and minor in minor. Let us endeavor to major in major and minor in minor. That is, decide to be very good. Great people, they know everything about one thing, and they know something about everything. Do you get it? for you to be a Dangote, for you to be a Serena Williams, you must endeavor to know everything about one thing and know something about everything. You must be able to be the king. And that is why I want to come in when it comes to, I want to say something about financial management. You must ensure that when you are running a business, when it comes to finances, make sure that you make your asset column to be fatter than your liability column. Make sure that whatever, when the rate of making money, acquiring capital, been at the cutting edge of profit making is at a higher speed than what is not bringing back money to you. You know, because I've read so much about financial management, about record keeping. I do what I've done to myself to sustain the work I do is to make sure that I engage my strengths and I staff my weakness. I make sure that what I know how to do, I know how to make money. But when it comes to financial management and discipline, there is no money I can give out. I can make 5 million and the 5 million, it's gone. Because I'm first a pastor before you can call me a consultant. So money, my perspective to money is very, 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 very wrong to what financial experts will say. There is no money I cannot give. Because all the business plan from January to March, COVID-19 spoiled everything. All the business plan, all the financial experts. So when I came around, when that happened, every argument I've been having about in the boardroom about all this thing about finances, my friends began to call me, James, you said all these things. I respect the principles, but when I get to the principle, I don't obey any principle because the principal created the principles. So Ekate is going to continue from where she stopped, but I want to just put that caveat there. Make sure that your asset column, I have 16 ways I make money. You know, I don't eat plenty food. I'm more or less like a vegetarian, so by the time I like to wear good clothes. I buy my clothes in January, spend like $1 million on clothes. So what else? I like to drive good machines. I have 2 that is good enough. So definitely, whatever I have, I know that I can afford it. But when it now comes to save 1 million every day, save 5 million every week, I don't know about it. And I challenge you, any consultant, any speaker who comes to tell you he knows everything about everything is lying to you. But what I do is that I have 16 ways I make money. I speak, I write business plan, I write corporate governance policy, I plan corporate events, 16 things. So when I need money and I stand up like this, I have about 16 buttons to press. How to now manage the flow of that money, I don't have that gift. I've read over 60 books on it, yet I'm confused because the pastor in me, you know, somebody just called me now, my load is outside, the court just give me, and I said I'm doing one consistent saving from January. And somebody has need around me. The Lord I serve knows how to corner me. So what I have done is that I have a system in which, by the grace of God, whatever money from, I make sure that the money keeps flowing. So now, watch this. If you have 1 million coming every day, and your expenditure, all that you are spending, is just 200,000, can you ever be broke? That's it. So make sure you build your assets. I have respect for people like Kaite, people like Dr. Dari. I have great respect for all my friends who have that financial mozu, discipline, planning. They can't, know how to. But me, I differ. I don't have a money I cannot touch. But one thing I found out is that spending money, according to the leading of the Holy Spirit, in my 51 years, I have found out that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And that is one of the things Dr. Dari, too, why he is here. Dr. Dari, we have some common mentors. Our mentors taught us that this is where you come to give back. That's why you can see an Ikaite here, a Dr. Dari here. We have places we speak more or less for free, but make sure that you are good at what you are good at. Mr. Ikaite back. Make sure if you are that person who's like a Ikaite or Dr. who have that way. I write business plan. We're going to talk about business plan. Myself and Cedric now will be coming up now to talk about. I don't write business plan alone, because when it comes to the strategy, how the competitive analysis, the location analysis, the location analysis, the strategy of how to make the money, how your money will come back earlier, I know all that. But when it comes to profit and loss analysis, when it comes to financial, calculations or how to interpret financials of the business plan, I don't touch it. I don't touch it. Because me and maths, we are not good. Me and figures, we are not friends. I know HT, I know 100 tens and units. I know LCM. After LCM, you have confused me. What is algebra? X raised to power 2 and by 6. Find X. That is your X. Pick it there. I can speak for you to know who you are. I can tell you the urgency of the now. I can show you, what you need to do to take responsibility. I can distort your theology and change your mindset from being a liability to become an asset. I can talk on leadership. I can handle management. I can do a lot of stuff. But when it comes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I will have to go for Ikaite. She's back, ma. Please come and round up your class. Do you hear me now? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Ikaite, please can continue.
Thank you very much. Yes. I apologize for the break in transmission. All right, so we'll continue from where we stopped. Where did we stop? Balance sheet. Someone told us a profit and loss account is, and someone told us what a balance sheet. The lady over here, what's your name? Uche. I love Uche. My friend in school was Uche, but we've lost touch. The time we were in school, there was no GSM, so we didn't take each other's number. And I've looked for her on Facebook. So if you see that Uche, my friend, I better call her for me. All right, so what did you say balance sheet is?
I said a balance sheet is where you have your fixed assets, liabilities, current assets, current liabilities. I've forgotten. This is like business studies.
All right, thank you. So you're on the right path. We'll look at the components of each of these reports. And then what is statement of cash flows? I think that's very obvious from even the name. Okay, so it means that cash that flows inside and cash that flows outside. And if cash that flows inside is smaller than the cash that flow outside, what is that? Is that a good thing? Hello, is that a good thing? You're bringing is wahala. Thank you. All right, so you want your net cash flow to be positive. It means that you want your inflow to be more than your outflow. But for some short times, depending on your goal and target for a period, you can have negative cash flow because it's purposeful, not the one that circumstance has caused it, but the one that you purposely, maybe you've invested in certain things and the returns haven't yet come, but that has to be for short term or very clearly strategically planned. Do you understand me? Okay. Because this is how I spoke one day at one place. And someone said that I said they shouldn't take loan. I said, why would I say don't take loan when I run a microfinance bank? I didn't say don't take loan. I say don't take loan when you're starting because you're going to give yourself unnecessary hassle. When you're starting, your business plan will look fantastic. I used to be on the board of UWIN. I don't know how many of you did UWIN. I was involved in UWIN I was facilitator, I was appraiser and all of that. I was involved in UWIN. I did not, in all of the time I looked at business plans for UWIN, I did not see any business that did not make profits. In the first 6 months, some 18 months, maximum 2 years, they made profit. Absolutely none. But how many of those people who took the UWIN loans grants are still in business today? Do you know any? Most of them did not do what they planned to do. Some of the business plans were just beautified stories from people's minds. So it's important that you don't take loan to start your business. Use your money, prove the business. If it works, people will come to you to invest. I did some project for EDC where I'm on the faculty, and one of the men we interviewed, he was saying that he's turning down some people because they want to give him money to do business. He has too much money that he's even struggling on how to deploy the cash. Because, if you have too much money, that's you're utilizing the funds. That's a loss on value. Hello? Okay. I hope I still have you with me. I'm not hearing the yes. Fantastic. There was a day I looked at a lady's statement, bank statement, and in February she had like this was a long time ago. In February she had like 3 million something in her account, and in that same year she still had that same 3 million something in November. And I said to her, why would you do this to yourself? Your money has lost value. And she said, is it not my money in my account? I said, no problem, it's your money in your account, but it could have been earning you some interest. You can't leave 3 million in, I think this was 2010 or so. I mean, treasury bills at that time was like 15%. Imagine if you had 3 million for 15% for close to a year, what that means. And she said it's her money in her account. But I had to explain to her that the money in her account didn't mean that she had to just leave it there lying fallow. That's why there's something called cash planning. You have to plan whatever money you have. Before you take a loan, you have to plan how you're going to deploy it because you will pay back. I know some people who do party after they take a loan, and I laugh. You don't do a party after you take a loan. You go to work because the owners of the loan will come for it. And once they come, there are no stories to be told. So do cash planning before you take the cash, okay? So profit and loss, like the gentleman said, is just sales, take away the cost of the sales. That means the purchases, the related, like you went to Wuse Market to buy, me, I like beans. That's why I'm using beans so much. I hope I have people like me who like beans a lot. Are you doing, what are you, is it only chicken and rice people like here? Me, I don't like rice at all. I can stay till next year and I know I don't eat rice, I don't care. Okay, so if you like beans like me, this is for you. So you go to Wuse Market, you buy the beans, and you pay about 100 naira. You will add it. You just remove from your pocket and give. And then you come to do the business. You're selling the moi 90 naira. You've forgotten that you used borrow 100 naira. You've not added it. Who is going to pay for that one? You might seem like, what is 100 naira? It's nothing. But put it every day for 250 days of working or doing business. So all of those amounts you think are very small, please, they're not. In accounting, nothing is small. I don't know any of you who you've worked in a formal place where kobo, you will not balance. You must look for that kobo and put it back. Not naira or not 1 naira, like 52 kobo will be a problem for you. Okay? So you take the sales, take out the cost of sales, and then take out the expenses. The office, the lighting, the generator, all of those expenses that cost you, and then you now get your net profit. Once you do your sales and the cost of sales, what you get is your gross profit. And at that point, your efficiency as a person, you know, if you take money from people, that's why some of you, they don't give you money. It's because they've done some ratios. They look at the efficiency ratios and see that you're not efficient in the use of funds, and they refuse you money. You think that it's village people. It's not village people. It's because you're not prudent in the use of funds. That's why, okay, it's just not part of this, but there's some efficiency ratios that we do, and we check and see that we gave him 1,000 naira. From this 1,000 naira, the industry average means that we're supposed to get 1,200, but you brought us back 1,010 naira. You know, good. So we cannot give you again. Or the 1,000 you had, instead of you having 1,200, you're having 990 naira. So we cannot give you money because we can't trust you to at least break even with our money, talk less of giving us a profit. That's why some of you are refused loans, because the banks do these ratios. They check your efficiency, and efficiency is not, I'm efficient. No, we do some ratios. And when they do the ratios and see that you're not efficient, they turn you down. Okay? So then you now check, and your efficiencies will show in the expenses you incur. Okay? So you have to be careful that you are incurring the expenses that relate to the business. And you're not going to buy, like me, I will go and buy that bracelet, 20 naira, when that same person is selling it on that same day for 15. In fact, that thing is still paining me. My youngest, not even my immediate youngest, you know how the younger one, after me, there's somebody before her, and she's street smart, smarter than me. Don't do that to yourself, okay? So that's what the profit and loss will show you. It will just show you where you are in business. And then you do analysis for yourself, because business is not a joke. Dr. Darius said, control your emotions. Manage your emotions in business. Don't allow people, because they know you, to come and tell you stories and collect money from you, or collect goods and don't pay, and you are saying it's my church member. I know that this church, the way it looks, you people are not like that, so I'm talking to the wrong people. Please, when you don't allow emotions to run you. I remember some people had even gone to my father in the village. My father is a village head, and some people will want to take loan, and they think because I am the daughter of the village head, I will just give them like that. And I say, no, it's not like that. This is Abuja, it's not Biogoku in Akwa Ibom State. This is business. So, and they will now textile and tell my father. And my father will say, if she said no, then it is no. You know? So please, don't allow emotions to run your business for you. Run it yourself. Okay? Next one. And then balance sheet. Balance sheet means assets, liabilities, like Uche was telling us, and the equity. It just means that what are the assets you have? What are the things that you've brought in to make the business happen? And so assets are divided into two. She said fixed assets and current assets. Fixed assets are the machines, the major things that's mostly not movable, or they will last for more than 1 year, that you use to produce, like the machines, like the furniture and fittings that you need in your office. Then the current assets are like the stock of raw materials you have, like the cash you have, like the debtors, people who are owing you, like the rent that someone is owing you. You know, all of those things people are owing you. That's part of your current assets. No, please go back. Current assets. Then you have liabilities. You have liabilities, which is the things that you are owing people, the creditors, long-term and short-term. You take short-term loans, you need just working capital or small cash flow loans to meet a particular, you have an order to deliver 1,000 dressed beds, and you need to hire some people to help you dress the bed because you need it in 3 hours. You can take a loan for that and pay back in a week or so. Okay? So those short-term loans, those are short-term liabilities. And then you have long-term loans that you have to sit down and think and plan before you take, because it's a responsibility to take a loan. You must be able to pay back that loan at when due. Not because you're a Christian, but because you're a proper human being. Okay? And then equity means, what did you bring into the business? What did you start the business with? when we were starting the microfinance bank, but it has changed now, it's now 100 million. But when we were starting, we had to put 20 million with CBN. We left it with them, and then we had to go and start. And then after a while, they gave us back the money. So you bring in something, that's the equity you're bringing into the business. Like that lady who wanted to start a business that has quarreled with me. She had zero equity. Do you understand? She had zero equity because she said she wanted to take the money from me and go and learn, and then from that same money, she would take part of it and trade. She had zero equity. And when you don't have your own equity in the business, there's no compulsion, there's no reason. You're a human being. You can decide, today is too cold, I'm not going out. Because it's not your money. But if you have your money inside, but sometimes you can have zero equity, but you have sweat equity. You have the idea, and we see that you are working this idea. We see the energy, the zeal to get this done. Then that can be considered. But that's what equity know they to work for Nigeria. We prefer that you bring something so that we know that you're serious. You have skin in the game. Okay? All right, so the other one is, so you can now go to the next one. So that's what the balance sheet is about. And then statement of cash flows. Inflow, outflow, equal net. Your inflow should always be more than the outflow. I think I've said that a couple of times now. Next one, please. Next slide. So, what are the sources of cash flow? There are three main sources of cash flow. You bring in money through one of these three means. No matter what you do, it has to be one of these three means. For instance, you have operating activities. Operating activities means the activities that relate to your core business. So for a person making moi moi, what would be the person's operating activities? Buying the beans, that's one of the core activities, operating activities. Someone from this end, grinding the beans, that's one of their core activities, yes, because money goes out to grind, yes. What else? I still want someone from that end. Hello? From the end. My right, yes. The leaves, yes. Okay, so those are the operating activities for making moi moi. So the monies that come in there will be, when you're writing your cash flow statement, will be under the operating activities. How many of you have shares in publicly quoted companies? Okay, maybe people are not having now, but you used to have shares in publicly quoted companies. All right, so when you go home, if you still see, you will see the balance sheet, the profit and loss, and the cash flow statement. They will list the operating activities of the company, and then they will say the next one will be the investing activities. What did they invest in? They invested in other companies. Even you as a business, you can invest in another business. Even you as a person. You can do peer-to-peer lending. If this guy is very good in selling, and you have money, instead of carrying the money to go and waste it because you're not very good at selling, you give it to him to go and buy. Maybe he'll buy the bango for 15 naira instead of you giving to me to go and buy at 20 naira. Because if I'm buying at 20 naira, he's buying at 15, he makes more profit for you than I would. In fact, when I was working in, I used to be in Oceanic Bank at a point. There were some of my colleagues, they used to give their money to those malam in the market to go and buy gold and sell and give them back their money with interest. Because they couldn't manage the funds. So they thought, instead of wasting it with me or allowing it to lie fallow, give it to someone who can handle it. Okay? So investing activities. And then financing activities. What do you think would be the financing activities for this lady doing moi moi and doing moi moi? And that moi moi has to be in leaf. I mean, I don't like that one inside tin. Or leather. I don't try that one in leather. Don't even bring it near me. Okay? So, what would be the financing activities? Where would the person get money from? That's what it means. Get money, where is money coming from or where is money going out to? financing activities of that business. Hello? Are we together? Am I communicating? That's where she got the money to put in the business, financing from her savings, from her salary. Okay? That could be one of the sources. Sales, fantastic. But sales is for operating activity because that's the core of the business. So financing can come in terms of the fact that she gave the money to Malam, part of her money to Malam also. Okay? And then, so those are the sources, those are the activities that will bring in money in your business. Sure that you have more coming in than going out. All right? Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So managing business debts, because this is one of the things I've had to work with some people on, and some of them were very unnecessary. Some people go into business because their neighbor is doing that. So your neighbor is selling ice block, and every day you see pickup in front of her house. So you think that she's making money. You to go and buy a block making machine. You don't, and you go and buy it in rainy season. Meanwhile, she knew it and started during dry season. After you come and say village people are after you, that your neighbor is doing you because you bought your own at the wrong time. Please understand your business before you go in. Part of the reasons people have problems and take with debts is because they don't understand their businesses. They go into businesses that are not theirs. They have not taken time to study the business. Before I started running the microfinance bank, we took lessons, all of us, me and my staff. We went for a course for 4 days on how to run it. Even before that, I read books about how a microfinance bank is run in other countries. So that it wasn't, I would just jump in. No. Okay? So how do you manage your business? If you by any chance have debts in your business, how do you manage? Don't run away. Oh. That reminds me, maybe at this point, let me tell you about 2 books that I think I would recommend that you get them. One is my book. Of course, I would recommend my book, Aspire, Starting a Successful Business. I wrote it after running the microfinance bank because people kept asking me so many questions that I thought were very basic questions. And so I took time to write the book, not in a how-to form. I'm not telling you what to do, but it's a story. So when you read a story, you get out the benefits of how to run an efficient and effective business that is contributing to the economy. So the book is called Aspire, Starting a Successful Business. And it's doing very well. People are buying. Even people who have been in business before have bought the book, and they are still thanking me. In fact, one lady at a conference, I was supposed to speak. So I came in late, and so I sat at the back waiting to be seated in front. And so someone was talking, hey, there's this book, she just got to that Kai, this book, hey, this. It has helped her business, and she now read and saw that some of the mistakes, and that she likes the way the book is written. It's a non-threatening way. It's not telling her what to do. It's just a story, but the business is the story of AN, and the business is... So me, of course, I wasn't fully paying attention because this book had just come out like 3 or 4 months before then, so I wouldn't have known she was going to talk about me. And I don't think she saw me, because when you're sitting in front, you won't see the person who comes in and sits at the back. And so she said, and that book is called Aspire. And my heart was, wow. So that's me she talked about. You know, so when I heard that, I felt very good until today. When I'm feeling bad, I remember that incident, and I feel good about myself. So that is one book that you should get if you're starting a business or even running one, just so that you can neaten the rough edges in your business. And then there's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a great book. I read it every year because every time I read it, I get something new. And I've read it for I don't know how many years now. For this year, there's something I have started because I read that book. So if you can get those 2 books and read, especially in this period, it will really help you. Okay? So, how do you manage your debts? First of all, acknowledge that you have debts and begin to work towards it. You can create a fund. Put aside money. You can even use a bag or a bank, a drawer box, colo box, and be saying, okay, since I'm owing people, every day I'm going to keep putting 300 naira towards, but before then you would have collected a list of your debts. You owe Mama Nkechi, you owe Mama Chioma, Mama Shegun, all of the people you owe, you collect it, put it down, and start something. So that if you are specific about every month I'm going to put in this amount because I'm going to pay these people and pay them off, you will succeed. Then cut out unnecessary spending. Some people just make money, make sales. No, that's not your money. Oh. Sales is not money. Because you've not taken out the expenses and you've not paid tax. So that's not your money yet. But I know places where, last Friday I was at a place that I spoke and the lady, and I said the same thing and she said, "Hi, Kai." And as I was coming to this event, I asked Pharmacy Ruth to give me 10,000. She just, it's her shop. And she just goes, Farm Ruth, give me 10,000. And she leaves and comes to the event. So when I was talking, she now exclaimed, "Kai, I just asked Farm Ruth to give me 10,000. Please don't do that. If you need to collect money from Farm Ruth or your staff, Yabo, write it, let Yabo note it down. Madam has taken drawings so that it will be counted against you. Yes, now it's business money, it's not your money. So if you're taking money, Yabo, give me 2,000 there. She has to write it so that it will be taken out of your entitlement at the end of the month or at the end of whatever. And another thing that is very important, especially now, is to just increase your revenue. Increase what comes into you. There's a lady that she does a business in Wuye, Kaura, and Kabusa markets. And she said the business wasn't thriving in Kabusa market. And her rent was still running. So instead of her to just allow the rent to run, she said she now puts soft drinks in that shop, and it is doing well. So look for revenue avenues. Now that we have COVID, you know what someone said 2020 is? The year of catching up. Maybe God has slowed down the world for you to catch up. If God has slowed down the world for you to catch up, what will be your excuse on September 1 when you have not caught up? When you're still struggling and praying, "God, give me this, God, give me this." I'm sure if I were God, some days I would not be sitting there and laughing. Because God has given us already. So why are you still asking? Someone has given you something already, and you're still asking, "Give me." The person will be like, "Are you all right? Use your brain." Everything we require to do what we need to do is already on this earth. It's to unlock the right relationships, unlock the right places, and get it out. And do the work that is needed. One day, one lady, she's elderly, she called me, she needed to see me, so I went to her office. And she said to me, "Ekaiti, take all these businesses off me." I said, "Ma, it's not like that. It's your business. You will do it yourself. I'm only just telling you what you need to do. You can't tell me to come." So God will come down and do it for you. God will give you guidelines, give you opportunity like this to attend a seminar. Some people I've done many seminars. Not everybody here is paying attention, Seth. That's the truth. Not everybody here will go back and do what they've heard. Many people are just looking, that yellow girl, what is she doing there? But there are some people from inside here that will call me sometime, maybe 2 or 3 months. That thing you said, one thing you said is what I used to do this and this. I've had it countless times. It's not everybody that I said I will take it and go and do anything with. But be the one that will take and go and do something with, because you're the one that will become important in society. When church has a function, you're the one that will call to sit in front, or planning committee. Is it all of you that they put in planning committee of events? Why don't they put you? It's because you don't have something to offer. That's the truth, I'm telling you. When they don't put you, even church, we are church, but we still look for your pockets. So if they're not inviting you to be planning committees because you don't have anything to add, no value to add, that's why nobody's inviting you. Make money, do business, do great business. Let the whole of Abuja hear about you. And this church will be the ones, every time they'll look for one program and they'll flyer, you'll be in the flyer to come and speak to people. They will remember they have you. Hasn't it happened that someone has money, all of a sudden all the cousins, relatives will come out from everywhere? So if you're not in any committee, check yourself. You're not contributing anything. That's why you're not. That's the truth. Okay? Negotiate with suppliers. If your suppliers are amenable to negotiation, negotiate with them. When you were told I do EDC, I teach at EDC, one of the classes I took, I told them, please take credit. Whenever someone gives you credit, your supplier says, take, you can pay me 45 days, please take it. One lady said, no, I'm a Christian, I won't take. She lives in Jos. I mean, I'm like, okay, people in Jos, they're like that. That's your problem. Someone says, take money for 45 days, don't pay me. And you're saying, no, I won't take. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian and I run a microfinance bank, so what am I? Anyway, so if you can get credit from your customers, from your suppliers, please take it. It helps your business. It helps your profitability. You know, to be profitable, it's not rocket science. If it was, maybe I wouldn't be there because, I mean, I didn't study that level of science. They're just simple things you need to do. Someone says take for 45 days. Even if you don't need the money, even if you have the money, go and put it in the bank. Like the time that lady told me, I think treasury bills was maybe 12%. If you put it for 12%, even if you discount it, you still get something on top. Am I communicating? Fantastic. All right. So you can raise funds to repay debts. If you're taking debts at high interest, you can look for loans that are lower interest to pay back the high interest so that you're able to manage your life. Because if you have too much debts, do you know that your business can be taken from you by the people you're owing? Yes. Okay, that's one of the things I discussed in Aspire. All right? So it's important to manage your debt. Even if you manage well, there are people that will be happy to give you loans because they know you'll pay back. There's some of our customers in the microfinance bank that they didn't have to say too much. They just drop their form and they get their loan. In fact, I remember one guy, he used to just call me. I'm on my way to the bank. Or even if I'm not there, my operations people, they will do the work. They will give him the money because he was faithful. You say, I was going to do supplies, and my car, something happened. I need 40,000. He will just go to the bank, collect it, and pay back. There were people like that, and there were people who, of course, 40,000 was a very small amount, but we used to give much more than that. Okay? Next slide. So these are some of the tips I will leave you with. Be a good bookkeeper. I think I said this before. Be a good bookkeeper yourself, or you hire one. It doesn't cost a lot. I'm not saying hire a chartered accountant. Bookkeeper is different. Then you can get a chartered accountant to just come and oversee and interpret for you. Okay? And then review your cost. I've said that before. Reduce your cost. Cut out unnecessary expenses. You don't need to have a car or 3 cars sitting down in your garage or in front of your house when you're struggling with debt. Sell the ones that don't make any sense. Especially now that people are working from home. See how you can reduce your cost of working outside. Okay? Before I came here, I had a consultation with someone who is trying to see how she can do her business in such a way that she's not paying rent in all the locations that she has shops. Okay? Make financial projections. How much do you need next year? How much do you need in the next 3 months? How do you find the money? It's not when you need the money, when the business is already in front of you, and they say submit next week that you go and start looking for a loan. No. If you make your projections, then you'll be able to know that you will need 90,000 next week. And you start finding the 90,000 today. And of course, I said this, keep business account separate from your personal account. I can't say that enough. Some people have lost opportunity to get grants or loans because of this number. They just did not keep that separate. If you don't, that means you're not disciplined. In fact, there was a day one lady, I gave her trouble. We had one event, and you know how people sold. There was a exhibition, so people sold. And so this lady came that, so I went to one stand and I bought some things from her. So and I said, give me your account number so I can transfer. And she called her personal account to me. I said, no, I will pay this business money to your personal account. Give me your business account. And she said, no, ma, it's this one I use. I said, I'm not paying you in your personal name. You have to bring your business account. That's when she now promised me, of course I didn't follow up, so I don't know. That's when she now promised me that she will go and she'll go to CSC and register an account. How much is it to register a CSC? 5,000. And a lot of it you can do online now. So please do that. Just even register a business name, if nothing else. Okay? And then pay yourself so that you're not tempted to always tell Iyabo to give you 10,000. Pay yourself. Let us know. Even if the business is owing you, let it be on record. The business is owing Madam salary. Business is owing Oga salary for 10 months. It's fine. When the business succeeds, they'll pay you plus interest. You put those in documentation in your business so that you won't say, I'm not taking money from my business. How are you surviving? You are taking, you say you're not taking salary, but you're taking money from the business. And because you're not calling Iyabo and collecting, you're not keeping proper records. Okay? And then your marketing and public relations. It's your responsibility, especially as a business starting out, to ensure that you do your marketing and your public relations so that people perceive you well. When you have done some marketing, you don't have to do too much because you'll be selling yourself. But when you have opportunity and you are not interacting, you're not marketing yourself, you're not presenting your good foot forward, you are in a church like this, nobody knows you, nobody knows what to do because you don't want to take any responsibility. It also affects your business because this is a place we spend a good part of our lives. And from here, you never know who will refer you if you're participating. Okay? And then sometimes you should consider renting instead of buying. Even some of us, we just go and buy a car because everybody has a car. Really, you don't need a car. And so you can rent once in a while. There's Uber, there's Bolt, and maybe there are a few others. One of the young people that I mentored during UWIN had this Uber kind of thing. Before Uber even came out, too. But somehow I don't know where he is and what he did with it. Even the place you go and live, because your friends that you were in the same university, they're living there, you go and live there. Meanwhile, you'll be praying, that night prayer, you pray 12 midnight to have money to pay rent. Because you want to live where everybody's living. You don't have to follow other people. People's times are different. I read somewhere that because your noodle quick done, no means say my beans go done. Yes. Me, I've never eaten noodles. Never. When I saw it, the first time I saw it, I was like, this thing looks like, let me not say it. So, I was in university when the first brand of noodle, I won't call the name, came out. And where I come from, we like to swallow. I mean, I'm like, no way am I eating this thing. And I never ate it until today. I'm never impressed. Even my children, it took me time to allow them to eat it. And they must put so much vegetable, like, Mommy, we are eating salad instead of the noodles that they're supposed to be eating. Okay, but now they are grown up, so I don't even control them. But because of that, they generally don't even eat it anymore or don't even bother about it. Okay? So because someone is cooking noodles and you're cooking beans and the person noodle done, the person they chop, doesn't mean that your beans no go done. And you sit down and enjoy your own. And it's healthier. So why are you following someone that has fast food? Don't compete. Take your time. Do your own. It will come. As long as you are consistently doing your own, not being lazy. Some people are doing busy work. I never tell anybody I'm busy. Never. It's either I am available to do it or it's not my priority. I'm never too busy to do anything. If I want to do it, I'll squeeze time and do it. Squeeze time from watching TV. I don't watch TV generally. I'm a radio person. And I don't sit down and just listen to radio. I'm listening to radio while I'm doing other things. After that, I shut it down and do something. That's why I was able to write a book between December 2018 and I published it March 12th of this year, my birthday. The book, Those Teenage Years. It's about your teenage years and it's about secondary school life. Some people have read it and they've been laughing and calling me. In fact, one lady sent me a message. She's CFO of one of these government agencies. She sent me a message. Ekaite, it's true, oh, it's true. I said, I'll say her back. What is true? Oh, she said, oh, everything you're writing is true. That happened in her school. And then some people ask me, so where is Bayo Lawal now? This was also my imagination. I was just writing about secondary school and university. And someone is asking me, where is Bayo Lawal? I said, I don't know where he is. Another person, okay, there was a time a rape incident happened, and I wrote it, and because of that, lady invited me to a radio studio to talk about it, and another person read the rape incident and called me, Ika, I am praying for that girl. In my mind, I'm like, it's a fiction, no. But I didn't tell her it's fiction, because I know rape happens, you know. So, but she called me specifically that she's praying for that girl. Anyway, so if you have your time and you use it well, you can do anything as long as it's your business and you are consistently doing it. And if you make a mistake, like what I said in Aspire, you don't just start up and do again. No, find out why you made the mistake, why it didn't work before you go back to do it. Okay? And then don't spend prematurely. They say they will pay you 9 million. You've already bought a car of 4 million. You have not received the money, you've bought the car. How about now? That's not prudent. That's not a business person. That's not a kingdom-minded business person. That's not a person who wants profit. That's not a person who's going to grow a business. You have to spend after you have seen it. And that's why they say accountants are stingy. No, we are not. We are just prudent. In fact, that reminds me, a few days ago, I don't know how many of you know this game, Monopoly. The game Monopoly, yeah. So we play it in my house. I don't know why I'm always the last. I'm always the first to be out in that game. I've played with my children like I don't know how many times now. Every time I'm the worst player, so I'm exited first. And yes, 2 days ago when we played, I thought that I got everything right because it's my children who taught me. I thought that I had got it right. And so now I had Monopoly on, I don't know about you, but on the yellow street, I had Monopoly, and I was so happy. So I immediately bought a house each. But I negotiated the Monopoly, so I paid for it. So I didn't have a lot of cash. Instead of me to hold my cash, I used the cash and built houses. But I was on the way, according to how they say it, on pole position to land on one of my son's Monopoly. He had built hotels. So, of course, as I just played, I landed on his hotel. I had to break my house. So in this house, I collected the money and immediately built. I did not get any rent from it. So that's how I exited the game, because the small cash I had finished, and I had to pack everything and give him. So I now said to them, what did I do wrong? I thought I got it right this time. For the first time in this game, I've been playing since how many years now? The first time I've ever had monopoly of houses. And now I lose. And my son says to me, Mommy, you're still not getting it, oh. When you get money like that and you're in pole position for another person's house or hotel, you don't spend your money. You wait till you pass that place before you buy. So you have to think strategically. Me, I just thought, okay, I have money, let me build, I have monopoly. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so please don't spend too prematurely. And then don't wait too long to seek loan if you need it. And maybe I should just say this. You know that you can take loans and you can ask people to come into your business. So you can get debt or equity. If people come into your business, they bring in equity, they bring in money, and that is called equity. That means part owners of the business. But you have to be careful that the part owners of the business don't become main owners of the business because of the terms of agreement. Because everything that I've said to you, please write it down. I mean, when you're having any transaction with anyone, it has to be in writing. And if you have a lawyer friend, let them look at it and vet it for you. Because there's some fine prints that will not come out till something happens. Okay? Right, the next one. All right, so these are some sources of funds. I've mentioned this in passing several times. Bank loans, crowdfunding, grants. Venture capital just means that you have a good product, someone sees it and takes it and funds it to profitability. But it has to be something that will be fast-moving and viable, sustainable, something that people will want so they will quickly make their money and exit. All right? And then there are other sources of funding. Maybe we should just take one before I run off. Anyone who has a source of funds that you can use for your business that is not listed here amongst this. And crowdfunding, please go and look it up. Some people are using it to make, even though they're using it for social enterprises, like some people, or even social causes. Someone is ill, they use GoFundMe to raise money to get the person to get treatment and all of that. Is there any other source of funds that you know of that is not there? That's why I put others. Personal savings, yes, personal savings. It's always important that you have personal, yes, sir. Contribution, yes, you can do contribution. But please, when you do contribution and you take, when you take your own, don't run, because we've had to settle matter like that. Some people take contribution. After this, they carry, they run. and we don't see them again in Abuja. You don't see them in Gwarimpa. Before you know it, they're in Maraba. Please don't be one of those ones. Thank you, sir. Yes, I saw a lady's hand. Yes, ma'am. Investment. Gains from investment. Oh, fantastic. Yes. So dividends from your investments or, yes. Yes, madam. Fundraising from family and friends. Thank you. But you have to, you know that all these family and friends, when you're raising funds from them, you have to be answering some questions. So, and you have to greet them very well when you see them outside. Because if you, they'll remind you that the money you're using to do Yanga is from them. So are you ready to pay that price? Yes, it's true. Some people that will give you small money, they know they'll make about it. The whole village will know that they... Is it not true? Some people gave you money to pay school fees one time your parents didn't have for one reason or the other. And every time they see you in Abuja, they'll remind you that they paid your school fees. It happens now, I know. Okay, so finally. All right, so these are important notes. Determine the size of, I think I've said this several times, how much do you need? How much do you need for your level of business before you start going? Everybody is applying for 10 million because AGSMEIS loan says 10 million. Do you really need 10 million? Because if you take what you can't carry, it will kill you. Not you, it will kill the business. You won't be able to carry it and you will not be able to pay back. And you'll be in trouble. Your name will enter credit bureau as a bad borrower. And you will not, when you wake up and realize that you did the wrong thing, you may not be able to borrow again because your name is in the credit bureau. Some people that borrowed from us and didn't pay back and ran away, they went to borrow in another place. Credit bureau told them, go back and settle in that place. And they'll be calling the bank to come and settle. Okay? All right. And then don't rush into securing equity, any form of funding without doing due diligence. Some people that you go and do business with, they'll carry you to EFCC. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you're doing something with someone who was fraudulent somewhere and you did not check this person's background. Because they say he's giving you 50 million, you just collected. You didn't check. You need to do due diligence. Okay, and then educate yourself daily. I don't think I can say this enough, especially now that we need to be very prudent. You have to educate. Every day you must read something concerning your business, concerning how to grow, how to improve, what YouTube video. When you have data, what are you using this data for? You have a phone that is 360,000 and you have, you say you don't have data. What is the phone for? It's supposed to be a tool, a learning tool. Me, I am still learning. I have some Udemy courses I have that I'm still on. I have some EDX courses. There's Coursera. I studied chemistry education, so I'm not supposed to be standing here. But because when I entered banking, I found out that with chemistry education, I can't do anything. I won't be able to move fast. And I was just asked, my boss then just said to me, go and do ICANN or CIBN. And I went and did ICANN. Okay? So, and I could have done that if I'm not studying. And I can't be standing here if I'm not constantly educating myself. Every day I read something. Every day I go online and just check something. If not, why would people be calling me to ask questions, calling me to be on their this, do this for them, be on their advisory board, do that, do that? It's because I'm learning and improving myself and because of the experiences I've gathered from all the places I've interacted. Okay? Please educate yourself and then monitor and measure performance. If you don't monitor, you don't measure, you don't have a business, and then you're a waste of space in Nigeria. Because God can create you, put all of that resources to create you, and then you come out and not be adding value. That's unfair. And then you can't even be a role model to somebody. They'll be using you as warning. Don't be like him or don't be like her. It is not our portion. That's what people say. No, it's not like that. Oh. You have to work it out. No matter what you say, it's the work you do that is more important. All right. Thank you. Yes, the last slide. All right. So please, I need us to just do a quick summary before I leave. A quick summary. So what did you hear me say in all of this? I've done a little more than 70 minutes now. What did you hear me say? What are you taking back? Not what you heard me say. What are you taking back from this? Please, if you are serious about taking action on it, then you say it. If not, I will just walk away and thank you for listening to my noise and I will go home. But if you heard something and you will use it, please let me hear you. Yes, madam. Where is the guy with the mic? This is the time I need your help. And please put video on these people that are talking, because me, I want to check. I see Madam is there. Mama. So you're seeing the people that are talking. So that when I call you and ask, we'll take a feedback. Yes, ma.
I'm taking home managing business debt, which says you create fund towards that. When you are owing somebody, you should create a fund. As a process of owing somebody, you should have somewhere where you are keeping maybe one naira every day to meet up the money you are owing somebody. Then the second one is cause unnecessary expenses. That one says that if I know I'm owing somebody 10 naira and I have something that I need to buy, hi, this thing is important to me, but this thing I'm owing somebody, if I buy this thing for 10 naira and I'm still owing somebody, it's better I don't buy that thing, keep the 10 naira for the person I'm owing.
All right, thank you very much. But if that thing you're going to buy will make you make money, that you bring out more than 10 naira, you can buy that thing, make the money, and pay the person 10 naira and keep the balance. Am I communicating?
What I mean is that if I'm to consume that, I don't need to stay for my business.
Fantastic. So it has to be, if it's consumer debt, don't incur it. But if it's business debt, consumer means the one you consume, like she just said. Fantastic. Yes. What's your name, please? Ifeanyi Margaret. Thank you very much. I have noted your face. All right. Yes, there's a lady at the back.
Thank you. I have a contribution, and I have two contributions rather. So what I learned today, I learned that we need to make sure we keep detailed records of our expenses, no matter how irrelevant we think it might be when it comes to business and all that, to make sure you don't lose track of your spending and you don't think you're making more profits than you actually are, even when you're doing business from home and all of that. Aside from that, please, ma, I want to correct something. I'm a lawyer, and no registration in CSC is not 5,000. Those things cause issues for lawyers. It's actually more. The promo is over.
Oh, the promo is over. Okay.
It's over, and no registration is 5,000 in CSC anymore.
Okay.
Also, ma'am, legal records. Many businesses that I've worked on, they don't keep records, and they don't know the importance of things like annual returns. They don't. So most businesses, until they actually need it, they now have to start paying fees and fines and all of that, and backlog of, and it becomes a pressure for them. So it's something they should note in their records.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for bringing that up. I thank you for that. Okay, so the promo is over. Please don't go and disturb her that it's 5,000. Thank you for saying that. And okay, so even the annual returns, in fact, okay, it's as if I'm promoting my book, but in my book I talked about it because it's one of the things we had issues with when we're running, and when we're in business, for some years we just didn't make the returns, and then they now came to us, we needed to do something on our file at CSC, and they say, show us your receipts. And that's when we found out, So please, when you start, go and put your records in place in all the regulatory agencies that you need to. Thanks for bringing What's your name? Aisha. All right, Aisha. So which one are you taking home? Okay, so you're keeping all your receipts henceforth. Thank you, Aisha. I will take one last one because of time. Yes, let the gentleman at the end speak. Yes.
What I'm taking home and what I understand and what I'm going to apply to my business is paying attention and detail to record keeping for my business. And then secondly, starting my tax payments on time. Like not letting it to pile up, or when the company now grows bigger, then the tax authorities now come and give me whatever they like. So I'll start from small and pay my tithe and enjoy the dividends and the benefit of tax paying from the onset. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I feel very good now, so I can go back home and sleep with a smile on my face. That that you're listening, that you listened to me and you heard me. But more importantly, I know even some of you who have not spoken. You know, there are some quiet people. Those are the doers. They don't say anything, but they will go and do it. And then they'll call you later. Maybe they'll call you, James, and say, okay, that thing you said, that thing that lady said, or that other man said, I'm doing it, and you feel good with yourself that you delivered. Okay? And maybe one last thing, because Aisha spoke, and the gentleman there, what's your name? Kingsley? Dixon Chidiebere. Okay, so she reminded me of something, and what Dixon said also ties there. You know that, we don't have enough time. There's so much to say, but you know that sometimes you think that just having a business registration is good for you. It's fine for a start. But you don't know that if you have a corporation, the taxes you pay may not be as much as someone who has just a sole proprietorship. I wouldn't say more than that, but that's how it works. And so you should consult a person who knows to help you so that you don't pay unnecessary taxes. The tax authority wants you to pay your due tax, but don't go in such a way that you pay more than what is necessary. All right, so on that note, thank you very much. I suppose that there are no questions because I have to run. But if there are questions, I'll take 2 max. I'm coming back tomorrow. Or you want to go and think about it. I would even prefer you go and think about it so that tomorrow you can ask me the question because I have to run now.
We can do better than that. Let's put our hands together for Mrs. Ekaite. Thank you so much, ma. You will have enough time for questions tomorrow, and then we're going to have some breakout sessions. Thank you very much. Our food is already ready, and Dr. Dari wants just about 2 or 3 questions because he too has to run. So if you have 1 or 2 questions for Dr. Dari, please just, and then we'll be having just 20 minutes break because the real cocoa of the matter after our break, we want to begin the business plan, which is the real stuff. And myself and Cedric, one of our facilitators, is already in the house, quietly sitting down at the back there from the morning. So myself and him will be taking you. So, question for Dr. Dari before he leaves too. Is there a question for him? You'll be seeing more of him anyway, because he's a faculty on our National Entrepreneurship Platform. And definitely, he's here. He might not be coming tomorrow, but definitely when he's part of our faculty. So is there any question for him, for Dr. Dari? Okay. Please. Okay. You bring it tomorrow. I have. Please.
So I should give him to bring? Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. I just want to thank Dr. Dari. I think he's a gentleman. Let's give him a round of applause. And because of what he has done, I don't want his efforts and time here to go to waste. And how that would be is that he gave a very rich presentation. That's what he gets paid hundreds. I know because I'm also a consultant, and I saw what he was delivering, and he was even going into too many things. In my mind, I was like, he's giving out too much. But he questions, because I'm sure outside this door he's going to charge you a decent fee for whatever answer he gives to you. Pay attention, but more importantly, please put to use so that it will be worth our time here. Thank you.
Thank you. So your question for Dr. Dari, please.
For those who run small businesses
Okay.
that probably don't need an office because you can't even afford it.
Okay.
But you need to have a contact point between you and the people. And one of the things you need to have is a complimentary card.
Okay.
How do you express the details of that company on that card without putting your office? Because for some people, the absence of a specified office makes it questionable.
Okay.
What wisdom can one apply? Because sometimes you operate from home,
okay,
and your home really does not fit into what you consider in some cases an office. Okay, sir. All right, thank you so much for all you've taught us. I was asking about those who are starting small business, and then you have clients, and then you need to have a complimentary card, a way of connecting with the people you deal with, and then you don't have a specified office. Maybe you operate from home, you know. So how do you express that? How do you package yourself in a call card without necessarily putting and making it sound as if you're not qualified or something?
Okay. All right. Any other question? Let me take all the questions so I react to them. Yes. How many of us want my call card? Okay, so pass it around, and as you see the call card, you will get answer to some of his questions. The first question, my call card will explain. Thank you. Look at the call card as I'm answering the question, the first question. Did you see any answer? Please tell them what you can see. Talk about my call card. That may attend to your question and those that are worried.
It just tells me about your name and then what you do, what you deliver.
Any address?
No, sir.
Any email?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Does it make sense to anybody? Does it make sense to you? Okay, I'm sending my call card to you now to attend to it so that we can save time. Food is getting cold. Nothing on my call card apart from my name and what I do. So you need my service, you call me. And if you call me, I won't tell you whether I'm coming from Nyanya or from Karu. Or from Gwagwalape. Exactly. The second leg of your question is that, sorry, okay, I will send you cards. I'm almost done. The card is finishing. 2 more. Sorry, please. Sorry. Okay. So my card has just my number, what I do, and that's all. And you must look for me. In fact, the card takes people that are more to this card. When I give this card at the airport, somebody took my card. He said, "Is this your card?" I said, "Yes." He looked at it and said, "Your card?" I said, "Yes, my card." He looked at it and said, "Your business card?" I said, "Yes, sir." Because he's pregnant. Yeah. No noise. FCA, AGA, MBA. You can't see MBA there. There's nothing on the card. I'm Victor Oshadari, and that's who I am. You want to know more? Come closer. I also use it to do social investments. I use it to attract quality people. Once you see my card, it tells you that this man is quality. Quality people are noiseless. No noise. See this man wearing canvas. Now lie, go closer. Something day. Go. They are not noisy. Once you see people gara everywhere, you see three PA coming to put everywhere. That man is empty. That man is empty. Once you see people that are overdrive everywhere, giddy. 5 people. Like I'm coming now, I didn't come with a driver. I drove myself. If I'm going now, I see Masara, the road, I park my car, buy corn and eat organic food. I'm gone. Keep it simple. When money starts coming, calm down.
Please, we have the permission of God's servant to eat in the sanctuary. Don't litter. I don't think we can live here for break. Because the business line, reason why we didn't come, we came for a serious business. Your food is just coming beside you now. Find a way to eat your food, and we want to, as soon as possible, go into the business plan. So take advantage. You don't know this man who is talking to you. Now my boss, now my guy at the top. It's like you are looking at Pastor Albert, you just get carried away. Me, I know these people. Me, I'm a small boy. But let's take advantage. The worst that can happen to a person is to miss the day of his visitation. Don't play with this class. Take your time. Go and check other EDCs and look at the people that comes on their platform. I didn't partake because of the fact that there is an assignment. That's why I came on board. The last time I met with you that we saw was 2016 or 2017. Maybe it's 2022 again. And I will see this man. We're still hopeful now. And, I don't want to say this one, Pastor Abba will say that on there. It's a blessing for this church this month. I won't say that on Pastor Abba will handle that. But I'm so glad that he's here. take advantage. In the next 10 minutes, he has to hit the road. So your questions, and he will answer you. Thank you very much, sir.
You can also start from your house. Organic growth is the best type of growth in all business. Organic growth. Because there are things to learn in business. If you skip those learning, you come back. And you come back falling. So there are things to learn. If you give birth to a child and you are doing naming ceremony and the child jump down and start running, everybody will run away. So business has growth pattern. You don't start from the top. Everything starts small in life, except digging of grave. We start from the top. Everything starts under and grows. So there's nobody that will sacrifice you depending on the kind of business you're doing by saying that you work from home. Most especially with COVID-19, that have now taken everybody to become information technology savvy. Bigger business are happening on the net. So there is no sin in not having an office. But if you must have an office, why don't you partner with bigger players and get a table, a cubicle? Most of my students that I train, my consultant students, use my office. Yes. Most of the people I mentor, they use my office. As contact, they come hold meetings in my office. And nobody sacrificed them. People I mentor, they come to my office and use my office. Some put it on their card. I don't have a problem. Yes. Seriously, I introduce them to my staff and they use it. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm a mentor. That's it. If you must have an office, look for people. There are people around that you can stand on their shoulder and build your business. That's it. But I'm telling you, office is not a yes for business growth. No, it's not a yes. The greatest office you must have is your brain and your mind. Once your brain and your mind is okay, you have an office. Any question? Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You told us some things about emotional intelligence. I want to ask, is it inborn or is it something that one can learn?
No, it should be learned. Everybody has a measure of anger. Anger is not a bad thing. I hope you know. God gets angry. But extreme anger is bad. Anger is part of humanity. It's part of Adamic nature. It's there. It's inbuilt. It's inherent. Everybody gets angry. God gets angry. But how you manage the anger is what matters. So why consciously you need to learn emotional intelligence? Because of those pillars. The first pillar of emotional intelligence, there are 5 pillars, says that you must have self-discovery, which is self-awareness. For example, I don't get angry easily. For 2 hours, for 2 years, I may not get angry with people. But when I get angry, it is dangerous. So what I do when I get angry is I walk away. I walk away. Because if I stand there, I will kill you. So I walk away. Now I have discovered myself. That is the first pillar of emotional intelligence. The second pillar is self-control and self-management. I'm trying to tell you why it must be learned. The pillars. And let me tell you, there are times you can't control yourself. For example, now you're a Christian, you don't take bribe. Is that not true? But if I increase the size of the bribe, you know what I mean? If I give you 10 million now, if you say no, 10 million, no, God forbid. Pastor has told me I'll be rich. If I increase it to 100 million, say, sir, I don't like this thing you are doing. you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you see that you need to learn that thing to be able to accommodate people. And let me tell you, no pastor can pray for you not to meet bad people. You will meet bad people till you die. They will come in business, they will come in marriage, everywhere. So it is your ability to manage bad people that matters, not whether you meet bad people or not. You will meet them. You will meet people that will betray you in business, everywhere. But it's what do you do? What's your attitude when you are in that situation? That is what emotional intelligence does. Ability to understand emotion, identify it, analyze it, and manage it to achieve the goal that is on ground. The third pillar, I've told you the first one is self-awareness. The second one is self-control. The third one is motivation. Everything you see in life has motive. So you need to find out what is motivating this man for slapping me. Not why did he slap me. What is the motivation? So the reason why people have action, inaction, and reaction, you should search for the motive behind action, inaction, and reaction. Not those things. Emotional intelligence tells you that you should look deeper to analyze why people do things and why they refuse to do things. The fourth pillar is empathy. What's empathy? Walking in people's shoes. Pastor climbed the altar and said, I don't know why this church does not understand gospel or doesn't the scriptures. Say, why is pastor talking like this? We've all done Bible college and everything. He will just come to the altar and be talking anyhow to us. Is it because we are members? Somebody should ask, why is pastor speaking like this? That is what we mean by what? Empathy. If you see a woman walking out of marriage, don't say that she's a devil. Will you please find out why she's walking out of marriage? Women don't walk out like that. A woman can leave your house and still be there for 10 years. Do you know what that means? She'll be looking at the children and how your life will be dastardly destroyed when she walked out. Because you can't believe that that is the only thing that is left for you, your wife. Do you know some family have scattered? It's just because the woman is there, that's why you don't know. So if she walks out, you are finished. I'm not saying you. So do you understand the fourth pillar? Empathy, looking at things the way other people see it. And the last one, who knows emotional intelligence here? Nobody. The last one is social skill. So who can list them out? As of emotional intelligence, number one, know yourself. Some of you cannot do business. You need to learn how to do business. It's not with you. You are like the Yoruba sister that people will come and greet them. If Yoruba woman selling coke, everybody that come to greet them, they will dash coke. Coke will finish. Mama busy today, you know what? By the time they take orobo, 2 per day, the coke is finished, business has crumbled. So you must learn the Igbo, that traditional sense of business. An Igbo man will say, Dalu, nda, they won't give you coke. They will be greeting you, but they won't drop their coke. That is capital. Mbano. The Igbo man will not dash you goods. His good is his capital. Yoruba person can dash you. Will dash you goods. He say, my children self, I better pack the biscuit, pack more for them. That is capital they are packing. Please clap for the Yoruba people. I'm sorry. So you need to learn it. You need to learn it. Yes, last question before food. Yes. Do you understand? Emotional intelligence should be learned because emotions differ. A sanguine does not behave the way a phlegmatic behave. And it's different from melancholy. And there are people that balance melancholy, sanguine, and yeah, they balance it. They have a measure of too detail, a measure of social being. Exactly. So you need to understand whether this one is a choleric. There are temperaments. You need to understand people's temperaments. You need to know people that will always shout. I have a boss that shouted before. I got used to his shouting. He's not angry, just shout. Why didn't you bring the memo? Even just bring a memo, he will shout. So we got used to his shouting. We understand his emotion, and we manage him, and we are happy with the shouting. In fact, when he's not shouting, we are worried. Because he's a shouting boss. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I want to find out if you discover that you haven't been, for lack of a better word, socially intelligent through your life right now. You have discovered you haven't been social. You've not been taking advantage of your
relationships around you.
And also you've discovered that you have most of the closest relationships to you are very irrelevant in the scheme of things relating to your life. How do you turn that around?
The first thing you do is to do relationship audit. I've done it before. When I left the bank, a lot of people ran away. They thought I was sacked. But I resigned from the bank. They thought I was sacked, seriously. When I resigned from the bank, most of my quality friends ran away. They thought I was going to become liability. Relationship audit, number one. Take note of that. Some people are actually in your life. You might think they are irrelevant, but they are relevant. It's just that you have not checked. Hello? There are irrelevant people in your life that are no relevant people. Can I say that again? There are irrelevant people in your life that are no relevant people. So you don't throw them away because they are the ladder and the bridge that will take you to the relevant people. So you need to do a conscious relationship audit. Who is this man to me? Something has happened in this church today. Do you know what has happened? I have met Pastor Abba through Pastor Abiono. Ladder. So if you throw this man away, I will never have met. If I have said I can't come for this meeting, there is no way I can meet Pastor Abba. We call them composite relationship matrix. They are not the one that will help you, but they know someone that will help you. So if you don't do audit, you will just throw them away. The man is just a consultant now. You can't give somebody a job. But this man may be consulting for CBN, and the director of HR in CBN may be his personal friend. So this man, the word of Pastor Abiono is not what you see. It's his relationship. So it means if you are connected to Pastor Abiono, you are also connected to that pool. Hello? So while you are doing the audit, don't throw all irrelevant people away first until you conduct a substantive test on each of them. So I've met you now. I don't know who your father is. So I want to wait to see your total personality. Who is your father? Where do you work? Who do you work for? You might be a driver to a minister. Do you know how important it is for me to be a friend to a driver to a minister? Because even if you cannot take me to the minister, you can give me information about him. When to see him, how to see him, what he likes. If I have that information, I have access. That is the first level of access. I know what to package. I know what to wear. I say, the man doesn't like people wearing anyhow.